Today we have a very special guest on our show, somebody that I grew up watching, somebody that I look up to, who has a massive, gigantic heart, somebody that they call the Beast, two-time world champion of boxing, two-time Golden Glove champion, my friend, my mentor, Berto.
What's up, man?
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you for having me.
It's my pleasure. You know, we have a lot of audiences, a lot of people that are fighters, you know, in life, not necessarily in ring. And I remember meeting you for the first time, and you had this attitude about you that was just, you know, you carry this energy that you always want to win, that you always want to go out there and make things happen. And you told me something when we first met, and it was, hey, you're here to work. You could have felt my energy, right? How do you feel the energy of the fighters?
I mean, you know, as a fighter, you know, you have to have a different type of, you know, mentality to get in there. I mean, you're talking about to walk into a square circle and getting ready to go in there and fight a guy that was trained to kill you for the last 8-9 weeks. You have to be a little, you got to be a little, you know what I mean, kind of like wired a little differently. You know, so I think, you know, of course, the way I was brought up, you know, my dad, my family as well, you know, they kind of, you know, helped me get in a certain place to just understand who I am and to be able to understand a lot of, you know, hard work ethic. Yeah. And just be able just go out there and just try to accomplish everything I want to accomplish. And that's what I wanted to accomplish at the time, to be a world champion. So I knew what it took. I
want to go a little bit back into your story, because you started to go into boxing, and the reason why you got into fighting is because you were 10 years old. Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were getting beat up, and your dad, who already had the kickboxing background, put you in school so that way you can learn how to defend yourself. Can you share that with me?
It was kind of opposite.
Okay.
You know, I was bad.
You were beating people up. You were smacking them.
I was smacking kids around.
Okay.
I was smacking kids around at a young age. My teacher used to call my dad all the time, like, listen, you got to do something with this kid. Wow. Like, he has a lot of energy. Good kid, does all his work, but man, his energy is through the roof. Like, you got to do something with him. And he started getting in trouble with a lot of other kids. So, of course, my dad, you know, he was into mixed martial arts, you know, very early. He started taking me to the gym with him, because that was one of his disciplines. You know, boxing, jiu-jitsu, you know, a lot of other different things. He started taking me to the boxing gym with him. And I went in there, and the first day, they put me in the ring, you know, with a kid, a little chubby kid. And in my mind, just automatically, I'm like, okay, so I guess they just want me to knock this kid out. And the kid, man, he, you know, he schooled me, he boxed me. I came in with a lot of aggression. I'm swinging crazy. He was so relaxed in the way he just maneuvered me in the ring. It was just beating the hell out of me, and I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand what he was doing because I was stronger. I was a little bit bigger. And ever since that day, I had to figure it out. You know what I mean? He knew some type of magic that I didn't know. I didn't like it, man. I went back home crying a little bit. And after that, I just asked my dad the next day, like, hey, can I get back to the gym? I need to figure this out. Wow. So that was.
Would you say fighting and boxing are two different things?
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course. You know, I tell people all the time, man, you know, the fight game, you know, boxing is a science. Yeah. It's a science. I see a lot of guys coming to the gym that supposedly are great fighters, you know, out on the street. But when they get in there, man, they get put in that puzzle. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They get put in that puzzle, in that chess game, and they're looking crazy, and they're not understanding what's happening. They can't hit the guy in front of them, and they're getting tired in 30 seconds, and their punches out here, and they're getting hit with some other, you know, and they see the guy in front of them just calm and relaxed, and just taking pieces apart of them. I mean, it's a different game, completely different game.
At what point did you fall in love with boxing?
No, I did it at first because, of course, you know, I enjoyed it. I was a tough kid growing up, you know, so I loved just the physicality of it. You know, but I grew up watching, you know, guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, you know, Roberto Duran, at the time, Mike Tyson. And I just loved just the overall, style that they had, the presence that they had, just as men, walking into the ring and being able to dismantle another man just because he was better.
Yeah.
And like I said, I grew up in a household just full of fighters. My dad was MMA, my brothers, they were doing karate, MMA, my sisters, they're national judo champions. So everybody was active.
Wow.
But for some reason, boxing stuck with me. Because like I said, like growing up, I was a little chubby growing up.
Yeah.
And I didn't like kicking. I didn't like, being on the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like to stand up and swing. So, I just love the art of it, man. I just love just the, just that mentality to be able to know that you were able to dismantle somebody else because you were better.
Exactly. I remember one of your quotes, and it stuck with me. Every time I compete against someone, it doesn't matter what I do, Monopoly, Uno, soccer, wrestling, it doesn't matter what I do. You said you want to take the man's will.
Yes, man.
Right? That's your own words.
I was sick when seriously, man, when I was younger, man, when I, of course, just me growing up in the household I grew up in, my parents, Haitian immigrants, from Haiti, and just being able to see out circumstances.
Yeah.
Of course, grew up a lot, tougher than a lot of other kids. Plenty of days we didn't know if we were going to eat or not. We didn't have all the fresh shoes. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. And for some reason, man, I had a switch that went off in my head just at an early age.
Yeah.
And just knowing that I had this drive inside of me that I could be the one to change our situation. Exactly. And just me being able to get into the ring as an amateur, and as a pro, I kept that mentality with me. I felt like that I didn't care what opponent stepped into the ring with me at the time because I knew that they didn't go through the things I had to go through growing up.
Right.
So I want to take that person's will just to let him know. Just to let him know that it's no.
This is your house.
It's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the at the time I always felt like that was the ultimate way to defeat somebody is to be able to take his will.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Somebody can step into the ring and just be motivated all they want. But as soon as they get across the ring with a completely different type of beast,
yes.
I just used to see it wither away when I used to fight guys. And that shit used to drive me. It was crazy. I was kind of sick.
Yeah. and you're such a nice guy, such a clean, such an outgoing, friendly guy. Yeah. During the Haiti earthquake, you traveled, you helped the kids, right? But you said something, you said, when I step in the ring, I become a different person. Yeah. I become this beast. Yeah. How do you tap into that?
Man, just my will to just be the best. And I know, every time I step into the ring, I had a lot of, expectation. Yep. Everybody always, wondered this, wondered that, and okay, he knocked out this guy, knocked out that guy. See if he's gonna be able to do it again. Yeah. It was always questions here and there. I just had a lot of it, a lot of high expectations. Just me just coming out the Olympics and turning pro. And I just always just wanted to not just prove it to people, but prove it to myself of who I believed who I was. Wow. You know what I mean? So it was a completely different, mentality of me jumping into the ring because I spoke it to myself all the time. I had a vision and a mentality that I felt that I was different. So I had to go prove it to myself as well. Wow. So it turned on every time I stepped into the ring. It's not just for them, it's for me. Yeah. So you had an ideal self of who you wanted to be. Of course. Right? When did you decide to be a world champion? Early. early, man. The funny thing about it, my man, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. We had dinner, years ago. And he told me he was a big fan. We had like this big, it was like a business dinner. So he was there, he said across from me, he says, one of the first things he said, okay, when did the switch turn on?
Wow.
I said, what? He said, when did that switch turn on for you? I said, damn. I was like, when I was young, I had to be like 7, 8 years old. He was like, okay. He said, it's kind of the same with me.
Yeah.
It's a certain type of switch that has to go off in your mind to really make your mind up like on what it's going to be, on what your life's going to be, what you want your life to be.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be obstacles. Of course, it's going to be a lot of different, circumstances that happen. But you need to make up in your mind. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what obstacle comes. Everything I'm praying for is on the other side of that.
I love it.
So they're going to have to see me every day. I'm going to have to show up every day.
Yes.
It does not matter. If I keep hitting that wall is going to see me every day until I break it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my mentality growing up, man. And I got a lot of success, very early. Making the U.S. team at 15. I never traveled anywhere, but I got a chance to make the U.S. team and travel to 22 different countries by the time I graduated high school. So it just continued to open my eyes that, everything I want it's attainable.
Right.
I'm from a small town in Central Florida. Yeah. My parents are from Haiti, and now I'm flying all over the world, representing the U.S. and they're sending me bags of, sponsorship gear from Adidas, and it's just crazy.
How did you, at that moment, going through transition, immigrant parents, right? There's days that you don't know where you're going to eat, if you are going to eat, to now getting all these gifts from sponsorship, traveling the world. How do you not get a big head? Or how did you maintain not to get a big head?
I mean, my surroundings kept me humble. My brothers, my sisters, they kept me humble. My father, my mother kept me humble. Even though I got a lot of that early, I still came back to, to a small house that I see roaches and, rats, running everywhere. Yeah. So I came back to a lot of, realization of what my situation was. Right. You understand me? So, so that kind of really just kept me humble. But it continued to motivate me, like, okay, I'm going to change all this shit for us soon. I'm going to change all this stuff for us soon. I can go to, like Denmark and fight for the U.S. and everybody wearing matching uniforms from Adidas and everybody's cheering for us and I'm winning, gold medals. But as soon as I fly back home, I fly back and I go back in my room and I'm waking up in the middle of the night to get something from the refrigerator. I'm seeing roaches everywhere. So, it was still there.
Do you think luxury kills hunger or motivates it?
It just depends. It just depends. It just depends. Of course, sometimes it's hard. Like they say in the fight game, it's a little hard sometimes to get up and run when you land on silk sheets. Yeah. That's what they say in the fight game too. But, but then again, like I said, like a guy like Floyd Mayweather, he has so much, vibrato. He has so many things and luxury items. Yeah. And that drives him because he knows that's his persona. And he knows that he can't lose that. Wow. If he loses a fight, this shit is over. Yeah. People aren't gonna believe it. You know what I'm saying? And just me knowing him, and just knowing how he operates, I've known him since I've been 16 years old. So of course he put all the pressure on him. Yeah, he put all that pressure on himself. Yeah. He loves it. Yeah. He loves the attention. He loves this, he loves that. But he still understands and knows he better stay undefeated. Right. Well, this shit is going away. Right. You know what I mean? So that drives him, that motivates him, that pushes him to be the best. He can go into a club and just buy 100 bottles for everybody. He's not going to take a sip. As soon as he gets out to the car with his whole team, he's going to put on some shoes and run home 3-4 miles. You know what I mean? Those are things that people don't see that I've seen. Wow. You know what I mean? Because he knows, this is where my greatness lies. I can't lose it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Your first 13 fights, you finished them all by knockout. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And at that point, right, you're getting stronger. You're knocking one after another one. how do you not lose yourself to think that you're untouchable, that you're undefeatable, that I don't need to train, I don't need to show up, I don't need to listen to my coaches?
Nah, I kind of, I kind of got to that point for a little bit. I mean, you talking about a guy that was young. I was the hottest young prospect in, boxing at the time. It was just a lot of big talk about me, me fighting Floyd. Then, years ago, I was just making a lot of headlines, knew a lot of celebrities early.
Yeah.
You're knocking everybody out. So I kind of got a chip on my shoulder, coming from nothing, making millions of dollars. And, I got to a point that I started getting to that point, man. And it kind of got tough. I'm coming to the hotels at the fights. If I don't got the biggest suite in the hotel, I'm cursing people out. I'm calling management, like, what are y'all doing? I'm the star of the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's, but that first loss, it definitely humbled me real quick. Real quick.
Is that the loss that hurts the most?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially for me at the time, because, everything about me was so big. And I was this young star that was going to be like this new face of boxing. And I kind of, I looked for all that attention.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of celebrities at the time too, and I wanted everybody to watch me. I wanted everybody to watch me perform and knock this kid out on a huge stage. And the weird thing about that is, as soon as you go through that first loss, I went through that first loss, I went through a time where I felt like everybody in the world watched me get embarrassed.
Right.
And I kind of crunched up in the shell. I went to the airport.
Oh, wow.
I had my family around me. I had a jacket over my head. I felt like everybody was looking at me. That same attention that I was fiending for.
Yeah.
When it went the other way, I
wanted to stay away.
I wanted to get away from every bit of it. I was like this. I went back home. I locked myself back home. But it kept popping up. I see it on SportsCenter. It was such a crazy fight. Like it was on SportsCenter. It was on the newspaper. Wow. It was everywhere. Yeah. And I really wanted to hide away from the world, man. And I still remember I got me, my brother, my cousin. And not some people know the story. Me, my brother, my cousins, and I booked a flight to Bali. Because I knew that nobody was going to know what's there.
Yeah.
Took off for like 3-4 weeks. Just so I can quiet the noise.
Right.
Just so I can get away from him.
Did you underestimate him? You did?
Sure.
Okay.
For sure. I didn't know who he was.
Right.
And at the time, a lot of talk with just me and Floyd. Me and Floyd were supposed to fight then. And then Floyd's team or somebody, they threw Victor Ortiz in front of me. I was upset. I was mad. Cocky.
Yeah.
Talking shit. Oh, he must be scared. I didn't care too much about Victor Ortiz. They threw somebody in front of me the fight before and I knocked him out. I was like, man, I ain't got time for this. And I remember not showing up to camp I went to camp probably 3 or 4 weeks before the fight.
Oh my God.
And I really just went just to lose the weight and make weight.
Exactly.
And just in my mind at the time, I just know how I perform under the lights. And I knew that, okay, training camp wasn't good, but I know once the lights turn on, I go, I perform.
Right.
Man, and I remember that was the first fight that I ever, walked into, and I was very nervous because I knew I didn't prepare like I needed to.
Wow.
It was in Connecticut.
Yeah, it was in Connecticut.
And, it was in Connecticut, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I don't know, we'll see. And I remember walking up to the ring, looking to my right. For some reason, everybody flew out to this fight in some little town in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Floyd, 50 Cent, all these others, everybody just, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, damn. And I walk into the ring, I see Victor Ortiz bouncing across the ring. He looked like he was a rabid dog, ready to go. Just looked like he was just...
He was the underdog at that moment.
He looked like he was ready to kill something. Wow. And I remember like, oh, shit. I said, damn. And I'm looking to the left, I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm like, jeez, what's going on? Like I got set up. I don't know how. And
did he drop you first in that fight?
he came out fast. Yeah, he came out fast. He didn't even hit me. Everything just happened so fast because I was dealing with so many emotions at the time. I'm like, damn, I know I'm not ready. Damn, all these guys are here. And this kid is coming crazy. Oh, shit, okay. The bell rung, he just came straight at me. Yeah. So I really went down to a knee just to slow down the pace.
Wow.
I had to slow the pace down.
You had to interrupt his rhythm.
Yeah, I had to interrupt his rhythm and slow it down. Then after that, I just like, all right, well, here we go. Let's get it. Yeah. And we just got into it, man. And like I said, he came in going. So that was what it counted as a knockdown, even though I went down to the first meeting. And I knocked him down the second time. And I hit him with a right hand. I still don't know how he got up with that. Yeah. I hit him.
It was an uppercut.
No, it was a right hand.
It was just a right hand.
Yeah, I hit him with an uppercut the second time.
Yeah.
I hit him with a right hand. And I don't know how he got up from that. I almost split his neck around.
Oh, my God.
And he got up, and he just went back to work, and I was just so tired because I didn't prepare like I needed to.
Wow.
And that was the first time a lot of people see me in that space, and they didn't know how, they didn't understand that I'm on the ropes. My legs were gone. Everything was gone. I'm on the ropes, just letting them punch on me. Mentally, I'm there. Because every time he got off of me, I'm like, man, come on, that's not nothing. Yeah. But my body just wasn't responding. Wow. It was crazy.
Did you know you lost that fight when you guys went to the front? The judges, you knew you lost.
Yeah, I didn't care if they, it was a close fight. Still, very, very close. But but it just didn't sit right on me because I was used to performing like I know how to perform. I knew I wasn't ready. I knew that just wasn't me. You know what I mean? I knew that he came and got it.
If I'm not mistaken, you chose to go back and fight him second time. You actually wanted him.
That was the one I needed. I needed that. Yeah. It's not like I wanted it, I needed that fight. Because after that fight, it interrupted my rhythm, moving forward. I can talk about it now because it's been a lot of years, but going into that fight, of course I won my next fight, but I dealt with so many just mental, hurdles after that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, dealing with somebody or just being that type of guy that was so dominant and really believing that nobody could stand in there with me, to going through my first loss and just being in a situation where my body couldn't perform like I needed it to.
Right.
Then I started doubting myself.
Right. Wow.
And then that doubt just started creeping in like crazy. You know what I mean?
And even though you won the fight after that, you had 2 consecutive losses.
Yes, after that.
Would you say that had to do with skill? That had to do with mental state?
Mental. That was all mental. Wow. All mental. These guys, these guys couldn't stand in front of me now. You know what I mean? It was the mental situation. Same thing I tell people now, like when I see Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, yes.
Ronda Rousey, she was so dominant. And this happens to mainly the most dominant, figures once they take their first loss.
Yeah.
She was so dominant. Nobody could touch her. Mentally, she was unbreakable. Yeah. As soon as that got broken, that fight, when she was coming back, everybody, she came back. She's going to be good. I'm like, listen, I understand what she's going through.
Wow.
If anything goes slightly wrong, she's going to automatically feel like she's back in that nightmare that happened. That's exactly what happened. As soon as she took that first shot, I seen her face like, oh my God. And it was all boom, 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 boom. Because I've been there. I've been there, I know how it is.
You recovered from that.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
What separates one from the other?
Because, somebody like her, still, of course, an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
But the stages that we fight on, man, are just so huge. And so many people watch. And going through that, it's almost like a nightmare. Like, I know people, like even myself, like you almost feel like, that can finish you as a person.
Wow.
Just to quiet the noise. You know what I'm saying? Like almost suicidal to a bit.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? When people see you so much of a big star, but on that same stage where you flourish, they see your demise at the same time. You know, that can almost finish you as a person. So somebody like her, man, she, you know, I can understand how she just walked away. Because the same people that cheered on her and just loved her so much, and that nightmare that she felt, she don't want to feel that shit no more.
Right.
Let me go do something else. You know what I mean? Me myself, you know, I found out that the only way to defeat it or to get comfortable with it or defeat it, you have to keep showing up to it.
Wow.
You have to keep showing up. You have to, you know what I mean? It's a crazy feeling, but you know, you're not gonna be able to beat it or to go through it unless you keep showing up for it.
Do you think the reason why they don't show up is because of the fear?
Of course.
Yeah, it's the
fear. That's a situation that I mean, especially in the fight game, it's not just the fear. I mean, that fear can turn into, you know, embarrassment and just more damage to you physically. You know what I'm saying? If you're not mentally together, you get back in that ring, it'll just damage you, you know, mentally, physically, you know, even more. So you have to be wired different. You have to tell yourself that doesn't matter how the situation happened, I gotta show up again. I gotta face this fear again. I gotta defeat it. You know what I mean? And the only way to do it, you have to keep showing up to it. Eventually you're gonna end up, you know, start identifying, you know, who you are. Identifying who you are again. And knowing that, you know, just knowing that truth.
We live to build up our identity. When the loss happens, when we take that failure, right? We lose the part of the identity. How do you go out there and rebuild it besides showing up? Is it the environment? Is it the people that you have?
The environment, the people that you have around you. You know, one of my coaches too, you know, I was trying to get back right mentally. He used to tell me, you need to understand who you are. Go back and watch some of your old fights.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it gets to a point that, you know, sometimes when you get into that state, especially as a fighter, you go through that first loss, you start, you know, overanalyzing yourself. You're trying to over prepare. You're trying to check all these boxes. You're trying to make sure you're doing things perfect. Wait, hold on. Like, you're still a beast. You're still an animal. You gotta go watch some of your other fights. You just gotta focus up and go out there and do it. You don't gotta change too much of shit. Just go out there and do it. You already have the tools. Go out there and do it. But if you're not right mentally, it doesn't matter who you beat, you know, prior. They'll be able to come back and beat you anytime at that point if mentally you're not at that place where you need to be.
A lot of people think that your most challenging fight was Victor Ortiz. Right? That's not true.
No.
It was the guy named Estrada.
David Estrada. He did the research.
What about Estrada that gave you the hardest fight?
I mean, David Estrada, I mean, at that time, you know, I was on my rise up. New young hot kid on the scene, you know, HBO. At the time we were on HBO. They gave me my big platform to perform on HBO in front of millions, a lot of hype. And David Estrada, you know, was a veteran. He fought a lot of guys. You know, Kermit Cintron, fought Shane Mosley. He just fought a lot of big guys. I know how tough and rugged he was. You know, but I know how lethal I was too. But, you know, that was my first time finally getting in there with a guy that didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, coming up, I can walk into a ring with somebody and I can see that the hype, you know, my hype kind of got to them. I can see them mentally kind of like, oh man, okay.
He didn't care.
And if I hit him, they're gonna crush me. He didn't care.
Wow.
That was one of them guys that did not care. He came out the first round and jumped right on my ass, banging till he was banging me. And I remember going back to the corner like, oh my God. I'm like, oh shit, this shit is real. Like I looked at my coach and I'm like, he's trying to embarrass me. Like, this is my showcase. My mom, my parents there, everybody, all my friends, he's trying to embarrass me. He just didn't care. He came every round banging, and it didn't matter what I hit him with. He took it, kept coming right back. Boom, 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 boom. And he was hitting me with some solid shots.
That's crazy.
And you know, he put me in a state where where I had to talk to myself. I had to really make a decision in my mind, like, okay, are you going to show these people, who you are? Are you going to let the lights and the pressure and everything and this man that's in front of you trying to expose you in front of the world, you're going to let this happen?
Right.
So, I went through like a mental battle in my mind in the fire of that fight.
Oh my God.
It's like, okay, I'm in the car, like, okay, cool. If you do this, I need to do this. I gotta do this. And after that, man, once I made my mind up and I took a few shots and I came back with it, and I made that decision, like probably 4th or 5th round, like, okay, it doesn't matter what he does. It don't matter what he hits me with. I'm gonna show him that I'm gonna hit him harder every time, and I'm not going anywhere.
I love it.
And once I made that decision, man, and we just were banging, and after that, probably 6th round, I started seeing, pieces of him chip away. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm starting to see that confidence in his face starting to look like worry.
Yeah.
And that's when I know, okay, here we go. Now I'm starting to see that wheel starting to drift out a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Starting to see it drift a little bit more. Boom, boom. He still was there. He still was showing up, but I'm starting to see that he understands, he sees that everything that everybody was talking about, okay.
You showed up.
Yeah, but he's here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so I need, so he had to figure it out.
I want to be respectful of your time because you have a TV to do and other things. If there was one more question I wanted to ask you.
Yes, sir.
If there was a movie, a book being written about you today, and you had to choose the title,
wow,
what would that title be?
Relentlessness. Been there my whole life. Relentless. My whole life. My whole life I've been relentless. I didn't have a choice at one point. I still don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as we're here, as long as we're breathing, we gotta be relentless with this life. You know what I mean? Because it can be over like that. So whatever you want to try to achieve, you just put your all into it. Every morning, literally every morning I wake up, I'm just more grateful that I have, another day, of life. I appreciate the breaths that I have. Yeah. And the air that fills my lungs, and I don't take that for granted.
Wow.
And the way I show that is I put my foot on the pedal every morning. Gots to.
I love it. Thank you so much, brother.
My man.
I really appreciate you.
Appreciate it, my man.
Thank you.